Hello, mi gente, and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. Today, I'm going to change your life with this recipe. All right, that might be an exaggeration, but seriously, in today's episode, we're making one of the best banana bread recipes out there. It's gonna be moist, it's gonna be supple, it's gonna be crunchy. It is every delicious adjective in the textbook. So, let's get into it. So in the background, I have my oven preheating, and I'm gonna get started on our main ingredient, which is obviously our banana. And I already know what you're thinking, not that these bananas don't look like they're ripe enough. And you're right, but I'm gonna teach you a quick little trick that's gonna help you quickly ripen your bananas. So all you need to do is add your bananas to a foiled lined cookie sheet, and you're gonna put them in the oven and bake them for about 30 to 40 minutes until the skins turn black. And the reason why we're doing this is so the bananas can ripen in the oven instead of taking the next 4 days to ripen. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes, and here I have our magically ripened bananas. As you can see, they each kind of broke the peel on their own. So I have them cooling, and I'm just going to remove the skin and drop them into our bowl. Now that we have our bananas, I'm obviously going to mash these with a fork. And it's important to mention this. You want to mash these until they're a coarse puree, but not a smooth puree. We're not trying to make baby food or anything. You want it to be a little lumpy, so when it actually bakes, you get little bits and pieces of the banana. Next, you want to crack in your eggs. You also want to add in your vanilla extract. Now remember, exact measurements and ingredients will be listed in the description box below, so remember to check that out. I'm also going to add some ground cinnamon. Now, if you guys watched my last episode when I made Nicaragüense cacao, I already explained how important it is to have great quality ground cinnamon. You know you found a really good ground cinnamon when it's just extremely aromatic and fragrant. Honestly, stuff like this takes your baking to a whole nother level. If you don't know where to find some, I'll link a really good brand of ground cinnamon in the description box below. So I'm going heaping amount. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly mix this together. Next, I'm gonna add in our sugars. And this is the part of the recipe where you can have a little fun depending on how ripe your bananas are. In this recipe, I'm actually gonna do 1 part white sugar and 1 part brown sugar. And the reason why we're gonna do brown sugar as well is because brown sugar has those undertones of molasses and maple, which once you add it with the banana gives you some caramelized banana Foster vibes. If you know what I'm talking about, leave me a comment down below because that's one of my favorite desserts. So I'm gonna mix in our brown sugar. Next, I'm gonna mix in my white sugar. Now that our sugars are nice and incorporated, I'm going to add in our shortening. Yes, I said shortening, not butter. I find that shortening really gives our banana bread that supple, moist texture that I was talking about, which is so important. Now I'm gonna add our milk. And I know not all banana bread recipes include milk, but I like to add milk because I feel like it thins out the batter so it's not as dense. Now I'm gonna shift my focus to my dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have some all-purpose flour, and I'm going to add some baking powder along with some salt. And I'm just gonna give it a quick whisk before we start incorporating the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients. I'm gonna start mixing our dry and wet ingredients. So I'm gonna shift from a whisk to a spatula because it's very important to fold these ingredients. You don't wanna whisk them, you wanna fold them because you wanna make sure that you don't overmix to the point that the gluten in the bread tightens up. So we're gonna add our first half. Here we are folding. Again, we're being very careful not to overmix because we don't want our bread to become too tough. So technically our banana bread batter is done, but this would be the time to add toppings if you'd like. Here I have some pecan pralines that are so good. These are optional. However, if you ask me, they're definitely necessary. They're just really gonna give our bread that crunch, and it's gonna further enhance the undertones of the brown sugar and the maple and all of that good stuff. So again, just go ahead and fold those in. We have our batter complete. So I'm just gonna add it to a loaf pan that I've greased, and then I've also added some parchment paper to. Let's put this baby in the oven and bake it for about an hour to an hour and a half. All right, so it's time to try this banana bread. I got myself a little piece and I'm going right in. This is so moist. I told you guys, it is moist, it is supple, and I love the fact that we have some of those little bits of crunchy pecan pralines that are sprinkled on top. This is 100% one of the best banana breads out there. I wasn't lying when I said this would be good. I'm gonna link this recipe to my Not That Nose Desserts playlist. Check it out. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, show me some love, and as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching Not That Knows Best.